few days ago, Elden Ring received the 1.07 patch, which changed a lot for PvP. Yesterday, I streamed for almost 11 hours, testing every single incantation and sorcery that got touched by the patch to see how it would perform in a PvP setting. I do want to give a disclaimer, most of these were tested in a duel setting. I think that if it was an invasion or duel, they would probably still rank in the same way that they would, but I do understand that some of these would do better in an invasion setting. I do want to add one more disclaimer that these tier lists are objective fact and truth, and not just personal opinion. Anyone that disagrees with me is dumb, and they can meet me under the flagpole at 4 p.m. to fight it out like men. So, alright, going down the list. Aghil's Flame. I'm gonna, like, butcher a bunch of these names. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Whatever. Aghil's Flame. So, they nerfed all of the Dragon Breath attacks. I would say quote-unquote nerfed. I don't really feel like they got nerfed. Like, I really, really just don't. Like, most notably, you know, Ezekiel's or whatever, and then Rot Breath got hit, right? I used them in duels. The tracking was still the same. The damage seemed perfectly fine. I was on a high faith build. I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it. But even then, it's still arcane. Like, I didn't really feel like the breaths got hit that hard. I would still put breath attacks like in an A. And like, yeah, like honestly, I'm gonna skip the line. I apologize if this is not, you know, what you wanted to see, but the breath attacks are all good. They do a lot of damage. They cover a lot of space. I mean, yeah. Placiduous Axe is different. That one sucks. But yeah, I really don't know. They need to do more. The job isn't done. I think I could tell the damage was a little smaller, slightly. I'd love to know the percentage. I didn't read that far into it. But yeah, I think all the breath attacks are still steady at A. They're not like busted, like, oh, there's no counterplay. But they're good. They're still really good. So, let's go with, gosh, I really need a reference chart. I'm gonna forget, like, all of these. I think it's, like, Ancient Dragon Spear, something like that. I know what it does. You jump up, you slam them down. That one's still A to me. That one's still A to me. I mean, it's a good zoner. Yeah, and it comes out relatively quick. And it covers a wide area. Dragon Storm, whatever, you know, makes the big AoE. I'm gonna put that one at B. I don't think it's as good as Spear is. Yeah, I would say that's not as good as Spear. Okay, this is the Crucible Knight where it's like you shoot the fire out. I think this is B. I think this is B. It seems really good, and I think if you made like a Crucible Knight build around it, it could be pretty solid. I don't think there's any argument there. I think it could be pretty solid. The Horn ability, I want it to be better, man. When this thing hits, it hits like a truck, but I think anyone with half a brain is gonna dodge it. I would put the Fire Belly ability up in here. I guess I'll rank these all of what I think they are. So I still think Ezekiel's, put that above that. And then, yeah. Because these ones do status and pretty much relatively the same damage. These ones just do damage, albeit a lot of damage. I think more than these ones do. It felt like they were pretty comparable when I was trying it out. Crucible Knight Tail.
that one's gonna have to go... I still say C, maybe even D. I don't know, the thing about it is it can roll catch. In fact, I'm gonna put Horn down in D. C can catch some people off guard. Okay, stuff like this, I'm just gonna put an F tier. That I'm not gonna really rank it because no one uses it, or it doesn't really provide you that much of a benefit. Because honestly, the only thing that got affected was like damage dealing stuff, right? So I don't really feel like there's a need for me to rank the the buff spells. I mean, like some buff spells, like was it Law of Regression or whatever? Not Law of Regression. Causality. Like that one's technically a buff, but it's also a damage one. But like, yeah, something like Great Magic Barrier. Like I would put that in S. It's an easy S because it just completely nerfs all magic builds against you. So I'm not gonna touch the buff ones. We're just gonna go damage and like winning a duel. Okay. Beast Claw. I put Beast Claw in C. If you're doing a duel. By the way, I should say that all of these are from the perspective of dueling, and so, like, just to have like an even estimate. Some of these could be better or worse depending on if it was an invasion situation or not. It's not gonna. These are all just for dueling. They could shift a little bit, but I still think even from dueling to invasions, they're gonna be roughly the same. Yeah, Beast Claw C. You can kind of like zone some areas. I like moves that you can like throw them out there and it makes the guy like have to turn, and then you kind of like corner people. You can direct how their movement. I like stuff like that, zoning stuff. It's not that amazing though. I mean, it hits, it does whatever. That's a buff one. Beast Sling. So Beast Sling used to be easy S tier. Because it came out immediately and you stun locked him. And you could basically do the AA-12 shotgun, right? Not so much anymore. This thing does... I have in all of the... so I had to do this one through invasions. In all of my invasions, not a single person was stunned from getting hit by this thing. Like, it is bad. It is so bad. It is D. It's basically you're just hitting somebody with like a really... like a snowball with a rock in it, essentially. That's all it is. That's all it is. Beast of Vitality, put it right there. Okay. So, yeah, this one is... It's a nice little zoner tool, but I mean, you see it coming up, and it takes like a second to go like, right? And it pops up. It's not really that impressive to me. Most PvPers have enough time to react this thing. Black Blade... So amazing in PvE, but for PvP, if you're fighting anyone that even remotely kind of knows what they're doing, yeah, it is not. No. Black Blade. This one's difficult. I think this argument can go a lot of different ways, and this might be a controversial take. I think it's C. I could see the argument of it going all the way up to S. The thing is that it gives you, that percent, max health diminishing or whatever, and you can apply it to things like Beast Roar and all these other, like Ash of Wars and stuff like that. And like, yeah, you can do like a ranged percent health hit, right? Which is cool. And I've tried to build out before where I've done all that. I don't think that it's... The problem is that, again, I did these kind of in a dueling perspective. Like, the problem is like, if somebody sees you rip this thing on, they know that you have like 3 or so seconds to get your attacks off before this thing goes away. So the second you rip this thing on, anyone that understands what, the incantation does... They're just going to be like, okay, I can do one of two things. I can play a little safer, or it can just back off completely, and then go in once it's out, So it's extremely telegraphed, and And yeah, sure, you could pop it on real quick, even like mid-fight or whatever. I don't know. I just don't see people really wanting to use this. Black Flame. I love Black Flame. Incredible PvE. I mean, I gotta put like the fireballs in D. Like, sure, you can freehand it and hit people, but like the bigger fireballs and the bigger stuff, it does that way better and in strides. Not gonna do a buff one. That's a heal. Another heal. Alright, Blood Boon. Blood Boon got a buff. And this has actually been probably, like, it's been a top 3 favorite incantation of mine since the game started. Again, I talked earlier about how AoE is, or just, sorry, not AoE, any type of, like, CC, like, crowd control, like, zoning tool that you can put in your kit. I really like those, and I think this is, like, the quintessential one, you know? I just realized I had another dragon breath in here. This is a quintessential one. Like, it's so good. Even before the buff that it just got, so it does more damage now. I really liked it because I could, like, throw people there, and then even if you hit them with a little bit, you know, they had this, like, build-up blood bar, and then if you added this with any type of blood, you know, build, just like Blood Flame Armament, like we're about to talk about next, like, I just thought it was really solid. I would love throwing this thing in my duels, and since it laid that ground of fire, the thing is that people, they liked it, you know? They didn't like it. They did the opposite of like it. They would run away from it. They were too afraid to take that, like, 2% of damage running through it, because, you know, that's important. Every bit of health is important in duels. They wouldn't do it. Now this thing, when you sling it and you can free aim it to where you get these, like, wide AoEs, it's almost like a Glintstone Arc, where you can just sling it sideways and you can hit super far away and a big part of the map. I think Blood Boon is incredible, and I'm happy it got a buff because I was already using it, but I would put this thing high A tier. I'd still put it behind the Rot Breaths, which is so funny because they got nerfed the hardest. I'm sorry, I don't see the nerf. I really don't. Blood Flame Blade, I don't know why Black Flame Blade isn't C. That should really be in D. Blood Flame Blade, I think it's really good. I think you add this to something like Nagakiba, and you do, like, Spinning Slash on it and stuff like that. You can do some really cool things. I'd put it in B. I put Blood Flame Blade in B for sure. Bogue's Talons or whatever these are. I actually, so on my low-level Invader build, I use these, and I think it's really good. I don't really think it's that good, but I think it's fun, because you just do a little scratch and explosion. I think it has this, like, delayed scratch and then explosion that does kind of fuck with people as far as timing and, like, roll dodging and stuff, so you can actually, like, catch rolls and stuff with this if they're, like, rolling into you. And it does a decent amount of poise damage as well, so I would put this, like, high C. I'm not crazy about it. Ooh, okay. Flame Burn Thee, or, you know, whatever, smack the ground, fire goes up. So, I tested a lot with this one today. This incantation went from unusable to pretty damn good. In like, the 10 fights that I did with it, almost, like, I think 8 out of 10 of them, I hit the thing, you know? They just come running up, covers a huge amount of space, and now it comes up so fast that people are having a really hard time, you know, reacting to it. And even if you react to it, you could still jump into another pillar. Like, this thing is actually insane. Even for invasions now, like, I think, like, I don't want to put it in S tier, but I would legitimately put this thing in... I would put it in high A now. It's actually that good. It's actually that good. Combustion. Yeah, I don't think they really did anything to this. If they did, great. It's still really good, really solid. I put it high B. High B for sure. Maybe even A, actually. Yeah, I'd put A. I'd put A. Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. You know, it's a good like roll catcher. Sometimes you can just run up and go, just shot machine gun somebody with it and catches some people. Not bad. This one I'm not ranking. Darkness I'm not ranking. All right, Deathblade or Deathblight Storm or whatever. This one's just like, now that I'm looking at these more. Nah, I'd still put him in there, because I mean, like, if somebody's rolling around and you get this thing off, it could almost be a one-shot, or close to it, And, so not bad. Disc of Light, this thing's trash. Sorry, any Disc of Light fans out there, I'm sure there's many of you. Another buff. Okay, so this is another incantation that got a buff. Both these two, the Dragon Claw and Dragon Maul. Everyone that I fought against with this could react against it pretty easily. I think like in an invasion scenario, these would be really great. But yeah, I mean, you just see somebody telegraphing a move, you just go in on it. I mean, it's kind of GG. I'd put it behind Beast Claw. Great that they got a buff. Hopefully I see more people do it and, something comes of it, but no. Elden Stars. I personally love Elden Stars. Like, back in the day, early humble beginnings of PvP duels and stuff like that, I was using Elden Stars because I realized how annoying this thing is. I would say high B. If you get it off, like I think it's not like you're going to be spamming this during a duel because it has such a big cast time. But you start the duel, you start just kind of a little bit back. Everyone gets ready for the duel. Then you shoot it off right at the beginning before they can get to you. Then yeah, you have minimum like 10% of their health gone just because of the fact that it just does hit you. Like, you can't dodge it. Shock Armament, not bad in terms of damage. I'd put it up here. It's all good. Another heal. Flame Swing, yay. I mean, I gotta put it down here. I have to organize these a little bit better. I'm gonna go top of D. First Sin, Scholar's First Sin, or whatever. I've told you the names, the specific names. I know exactly what they do, but the names are gonna be hard. I mean, this one's fine. I think I have a build where like I match this thing with the goat roll, right? And it does a little bit of extra damage, and you're running into people. But I mean, it's not like a meta pick, but it's a very off meta pick. I would put it like, yeah, middle of the two fireballs. Don't ask me why I put it there. Whatever. Yeah. So the fireball shotgun. I thought it was fine. It was fine before. You could kind of catch people with it. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take the sword buffs off because it still is a buff. I mean, yeah, it adds damage, and I could rank these above it, but they're kind of weird to rank. All right. Yeah, Fireball Shotgun. I go low B. Low B. I think it barely squeezes in. Ooh, here's another one. Flame of the Fell God. This one comes out a lot faster now. And it just seems like it hits. It always keeps hitting. Or a lot of players have issue hitting this. The downside is if like you're fighting someone that like, extremely knows what they're doing, like, yeah, they're gonna know to just run away from the thing. So I can't say it's impeccable for that, but it seems like I have more success hitting PvP players with this. I would say, yeah, I think right about there. I'm kind of realizing that B is literally just all, like, AoE is nice to have. I'm not intending it for that, but that's just how it's been going. Okay. Yep. Putting these up here. This is literally that, but just better. They're both still very good. Frenzied Burst. I love all the Frenzied incantations. Frenzied Burst is just, if you've played the game, if you've been invaded, you know, out of 10 times, probably 3 of those or 4 of those, someone's using this shit against you. So it's like the community has just adapted to it so well that you're really just not hitting anyone with it. And especially in a duel, like, you're just not hitting shit with it. You know, like, it's still not the worst thing in the world, you know? I would put it high D. Yeah. High D. You know, it's just, you're not hitting anyone with it. So, Frozen Lightning Spear. This one, it got a big buff, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good zoner, you know, can freeze people, which is unnecessary, but awesome. I gotta put this one high B. High B. I'm telling you guys, try this one out. You'll be impressed with the results as long as you kind of learn the cadence of it and how it works. Giants, Great Ball or whatever. This one's awesome. You know, if you charge this thing up, you can one-shot people. You can absolutely, like I've seen some builds. I had a build one time where I would invade people, do all these fire buffs, and then just like one-shot. You know, it's fun. And even in a duel setting, it's still like very. You can free aim this thing and do a lot of zoning, but also a lot of damage. And it's like the cast time is not that long. Like I would say this is A tier. High A tier, yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking at all these Dragon Breath abilities with them just getting nerfed and just being pissed that they're just sitting there free in A tier. When all these other ones they may love are just sitting in, like, B or and below. But it's like, I'm telling you, try the Dragon Incantations out. They don't feel weak still. They still feel kind of bullshit. They still feel annoying to play against. Like, not fun. Alright, healing. Grail's Roar. This one's cool, but it's very telegraphed. You can get out of it. I'd say high C. High C, you know, not bad. Grank's Claw, I think is what this is called. I have a whole build dedicated to the beast incantations. This one got a buff. I think it's really good. I still wouldn't, like, if I were to make this tier list before this patch to where it is now, I don't think I would, the buff that it got would change the placement. Yeah, I still think, you know, it's not bad. It's a good zoner. I would say that guy's going there. Yeah, high C as well. It's like it's tiptoeing on B. It's tiptoeing on B tier, I think. Honed Bolt. So this one got a massive nerf because you couldn't chain it. I forget what the first spell you do or whatever, but you go boom, boom, and then it's just like an immediate, you know, Thunderbolt. So it used to be like basically an S tier, like bullshit to play against. Yeah, now it's... Yeah, it's slow, and I think if you know the timing super well, you're gonna have a hard time hitting people with it. That's not to say it's bad. It's still annoying to fight. I put low B, you know? High C, low B. I actually think it's high C. Look, whatever it is, it's gonna stay. Howl of Shabriri. It's kind of more of like a buff tool now. You can still madness people with it. I will rank this one because you can still like damage people with it. Albeit it's not going to be extremely high. Like, It's just gonna be kind of one of those weirdos, like, you know, Flame's First Sin or something like that. Shield buff, don't care. Inescapable Frenzy. This is my all-time favorite incantation. I love just one-shotting people. I apologize, I'm an asshole. I like doing low-level invasions and just grabbing a bunch of people. It's like, hey, welcome to Elden Ring. I think it's such a meme thing, and then when you pull it off, it's so satisfying. I mean, that being said, an experienced player you'll never hit this with, and the range isn't going to really help that. Maybe one day somebody can, like, lab some tech. I know kind of early on people were, like, doing, like, back roll catches and stuff with it. So maybe the lunge that it has now can be used in some way. It's something that it's going to take a long time to, like, refine a technique with it. But, I mean, it's still unendurable Frenzy. You need something like the Hardened Tear Flask or the Iron Perfume, Iron Blood. You need something like that to really make it work, and even then, the Flask is one thing. I catch a lot of people mostly with that. That doesn't mean it's on its own merits is good. It being my favorite incantation in the game, I'm still gonna throw this one, like, right here because of the potential it has, but other than that, that's like a 2% chance. Fortisex's Glaive. This one's really great. Kind of shoots out a wave. I think right here is probably where I put that. Don't ask me what my reasoning for it is. I just think it's a good AoE. That's it. Buff boys, buff boys, buff boys. Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear got an update. It got a damage boost. And I can tell you with full confidence, it is in C tier. It's not good. It's just not good. Actually, it kind of insults me that Frenzied Burst is here and Black Flame Blade is down here. Yeah. I think that's a better way of putting that. I forget the name of this one. You shoot it out, shoots light from the ground. It's not bad. I'd put it right there. Not bad. I forget these ones. It's like Proper Death or something. No one's using it. Like, just keeping it a buck. It's really slow. Buff, heal, buff. Magma Shot. Magma Shot got a buff, and it feels better. I still don't really see it replacing C. Or outgunning C. Like, you can hit some freehand shots, but it's kind of like a better version of, like, the fireballs. Noble Presence. This thing sucks. It's still bad. I got a buff, and it's still bad. You're just not hitting people with this. It's kind of a more gimmicky one. Oh, Great Flame. Better combustion, essentially. Great combustion. Dark Souls 1 player. I have to put this one probably... It's too slow is the issue. I think it goes in D tier, which is so funny because, like, the weaker version of it is up in A tier. Buff, Pest Threads. Pest Threads is weird. Pest Threads didn't get touched by the patch, but I have always liked it. It's kind of like Elden Stars in a way, where it's kind of almost, it's not, but it's almost guaranteed damage. And it can deceivably do a lot. And it goes really, really far, and is also deceivably fast. I wouldn't say it's like a meta pick, but I think it's B. I think it's B. In fact, I would put it... This is my personal experience. I'd put it above those. Placidusax Ruin. You don't use this incantation to hit somebody with the beam. You use it as, like, it's almost like a combo breaker, because when you go into it, then you just, like, shoot out this, like, ball of energy or whatever. Yeah. It's... But the thing is, you also are left open even after hitting somebody with that ball. It's not useless, but it's not good. I'm gonna go highest of highs D. Poison Armament. Poison Miss. So this is another one that got a buff. I wanted so much more of it, but I just was having such a hard time getting people to get poisoned by it. It's still a meme. But I mean, it's also a zoning tool. I'll give it a bone and give it low C. You know? Okay. Radagon's Circle, or whatever. This is the one where you, like, kind of, like, just shoot it out, and it's like a giant, like, it's like a circle AoE around you. It's like a one-time hit. I was testing with this. It got a buff. I think it's not a bad... Like, it kind of in the same way I was saying with Placidusax. It's like a combo breaker. The problem is it's also super telegraphed, kind of like Placidusax. So I kind of want to, like, rank it the same way. Maybe even a little better, because it's slightly quicker. Buff. Scarlet of Aeonia. Yeah, this one, like, it got a buff, and I was really excited for it, because it's like, I want it to be viable. Things that I like about it is that it sticks around for longer. But, I mean, like, the you flying up and then jumping down and hitting somebody aspect of it, it's just not happening unless you get, like, a crazy, like, no-scoped, or no-targeted, like, shot. I don't know. It's still kind of a meme and for fun ability. I like that it keeps the rod out. I think it's staying out as long as it does. Really does throw some people off. And so they get, like, a little nipped, but I mean, still a meme for the most part. I'll put it right behind Placidusax. Black Flame Scourge. I see people run this, and I don't really know why, because I just, like, I think the only gimmick it has going for it is it's deceivably far that it shoots, but I mean, it's a super dodgeable ability. I'm gonna go up in C, mid-C. Garant's Rock. Boulder. They increased the radius that it hits, and I did an invasion where I literally put it, like, right next to this dude's ankle, and it didn't do any damage. So, like, I don't know how big that space was that they increased the radius, but it doesn't seem like anything, if at all. Like, it still feels like pre-patch, and I'd love to know what the difference is that they made, but it just doesn't seem good still, unfortunately, because it's such a goofy move, and I love it. Granx is probably gonna have to go in, like, I'd say low C. Not even that. I can't do that. I gotta put it under Thorns. Fire Surge. You can consistently hit people with this, and it, like, comes out pretty quick. It's an okay zoner. It's not incredible. Like, I think most people are gonna poise through it and just attack you. That being said, it's not useless, so I'll put it in C. Bloodflies. Bloodflies is a weird one to rank, because it's not that great. I think everyone, for the most part, knows how to dodge it. But it is a zoner that you have to kind of respect, at least a little bit. I put low C, probably right here. And the more I look at Lightning Bolt here, I just don't like it. Like, it's just, I think these are better than it. Put it back there. I think I'm giving it some concessions, but whatever. Flame of Frenzy. Didn't get touched if I don't remember. But I still think it's a solid move. Like, you can just, like, immediately shoot it out in a direction. You have this cone of damage. It does a really powerful status effect build up on you. Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think this is an A tier. Still very solid. Theatrix or whatever. His magma shot. It's slow. I mean, I'll put it next to the other one. I think it's you couldn't even really make a case for it being better. So 3 Rings of Light. This one got a buff, and it is annoying to fight against. You can just spam this thing out, and you're probably gonna hit people. Like, it is very specific timing to not get hit by this. And even if you're doing that perfectly, you're still wasting a lot of stamina, because you have to do, at the very least, if you do it perfectly, 2 roll dodges. Which I know you can still do a lot of roll dodges in this game, but it definitely leaves you not as big of a window to attack back, you know, even if you complete those roll dodges. I think it's a really, really strong move, actually. Like, I think you're going to start seeing some Gale builds using this thing going forward, and they're going to be really annoying to fight. I think eventually we'll learn to kind of, like, counter this, but at least in its current state, like, this is, like, it's goofy good. Put it above that. Unendurable Frenzy. I don't think it's bad. I'm trying to think if it goes in B or C. I think it's just like a worse version of Flame of Frenzy. The only problem is it leaves you kind of open at the end of it. But even then, like, it's still, like, you're still shooting stuff out just in a random direction, so it's like, that kind of scares people off. I'm gonna go low B. And I'm seeing it come back. Buff. Let's do buff. Whirl of Flame. This one hits. It connects. I would say... mid-C. Okay. So this is what I have for PvP, kind of in a dueling sense. Now, obviously, if you've seen, I haven't put anything in S yet. I want to... I feel like something needs to go in there. Like, what is aggressively annoying to fight against? There's really nothing on here that I'm, like, thinking it is deserving of, like, a bullshit, I can't play against this. Which, I think that means kudos to the developers for doing the balancing that they have. Yeah. I think this is all good. Like, I wouldn't put anything S because there's nothing that is completely, like, no fun, can't play against. But still, I think these are all fair. Adula's sword. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to butcher the names. I'm not even going to flat out know the names of some of these, but I see the icon. I know exactly what it does. So, I mean, trust me, I know what it does. I spent a whole day using these, but it's, yeah. I'm not going to know the names. Sue me. Alright, Adula's Ice Sword. Whatever. Glade. This one's really good. I still think this one's a solid. I don't think it got touched by the patch. If it did, I couldn't really notice it. Great ice buildup. It's basically like Dark Moon Blade, but you know, it's just sorcery. Very solid. I think this is an A tier. That's no problem. So one of the things that did get buffed was pretty much across the board, everything got buffed for the most part. I was pleasantly surprised with the damage that I was getting out of the night sorceries on some of these people. I was not expecting I was not expecting to get the results I was when using the night sorceries. Maybe I just played like a string of bad players. Chill. I don't care. Gosh, I'm gonna get rid of my AVG. I could actually say, no, stop. What the fuck? Anyways, so I would put this one actually in high B, low A. I thought it was very interesting how much I was hitting this thing. And it could have just been like a small sample size. But I think at least once or twice throughout a duel you can hit somebody with this thing. Which that's confirmed damage, and it was doing decent damage at that. Ancient Rancor. Ancient Death Rancor. I have a whole build dedicated to like the death spells. And this one, it got a buff and a couple nerfs. It stays out longer. I feel like it mostly got nerfed more than anything. I just felt like I wasn't hitting people as much. Like, cool, it stays out longer. But I don't know. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. It wasn't the best thing in the world. I was kind of underwhelmed by it, or just whelmed in general. I'll go B. It's a decent zoner. So here's another thing. The Briar spells. So I have another build that's dedicated just to these, because I think they're cool and interesting, and maybe underused. They both got a damage buff and a bleed build-up buff, which I was already using this account to decent to moderate success. And yeah, I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're amazing. I will say, I think Briars of Punishment is a C. Like, it's very telegraphed. You know when it's coming at you, and maybe you get hit by it once, but it doesn't really hit extremely hard despite them increasing the buff. Briars of Sin, however, is an incredible get the fuck off me combo breaker. It's pretty cool. And if you hit somebody with all three of the stabs, you probably kill them. You most likely kill these people. The bleed damage, and then just the damage the spell in general does, it's like each tick of this hitting somebody probably does usually around a third of their health. So you do all three, you're probably getting a kill, especially on top of that you're getting the bleed proc. It hits hard, of course it does damage to you, which is a setback, but I mean, I think it's actually not bad. I think it's underused. I think other people could probably end up using this. The only issue is it's bleed, where it's like if you're doing sorceries, you're probably going more towards like frost, if anything, for status effects. But yeah. Canon of Hayama. It's pretty good. You can one-shot people. I'm trying to think if it goes high B or low A. I think for invasions, it's incredible. For duels, you can still kind of, like, scare the fuck out of people with this. So I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna go low A, though. Carrying Greatsword. Not that impressed by it, honestly. I think if you mix it in with the other, battle spells, the swords, then you can kind of like catch people off guard. But you kind of have to like build to enhance it that way on its own merits. It's not like that incredible. I'd go C. Carrion Phalanx. I think this is A. I mean, it's a good defensive spell. You can have it at all times, and worst case scenario, it's free damage. Or just misses and forces them to dodge. Like, it's making them do that, so I think it's pretty good. Carrion Piercer. So this was like, people were already using this thing, right? And it got a buff and does more damage now. It comes out quicker. This thing is a monster. I'm almost tempted to put it in S tier where it's at right now. It feels extremely strong. You know what? I will. I think that's an S tier. I think that's an S tier for sure. Gosh, I did Carrion Retaliation, right? I think is what it's called. Yeah. I mean, I think all of the parry. Well, this is the spell. Yeah, it's not the Ash of War. Yeah, in that case, it's D, because there's like way better shit that you can use than this. And you're probably not using this. Carrion Slicer. Easy S tier. It's been a menace the entire time this game is shipped. It does so much damage. You can roll catch with it. It goes through like blocking and shit. And of course, not that many people block to begin with. Yeah. Absolute beast. That's an easy S. Radon Stars, I think is what this is called.
Collapsing Stars.
Collapsing Stars, good call, thank you. Collapsing Stars, so very early on, I realized the potential that this thing had. Not many people use it, and I don't really know why, because it has a very, very tiny dodge window, or it's deceivingly tiny, and I think half of the opponents you fight, you will get an automatic hit with this thing. And it does a displace. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does slightly-ish confirm damage, which I think is really good. I think this is an A-tier sorcery. I would.
It actually does pretty decent damage if you're dual-wielding meteorite staffs.
Fair enough. But I'm always using the one that makes just cast faster, Azura's.
That's fair.
Speaking of Azure, Azure's whatever blast, D tier. You're not hitting shit with that, and if you do, cool. It's not gonna kill him.
Is this? Are you like? I assume you're doing your tier list based off of PvP.
Yeah, these are just dueling mostly, and some with the information, of course, of invasions. With the accounts I couldn't duel on, but I still think they translate over pretty well. Alright. This is Glintstone Shard. Glintstone Shard comes out deceivingly fast. Or, I'm trying to think. Alright, these two I don't actually know the difference between. The big one's kind of annoying to... I think it's the medium one, right? Glintstone Comet and Glintstone... No, yeah, the big one sucks. That's C tier. And so I don't have to fucking think about this later. Glintstone Shard's actually not bad. It comes out relatively quick. It can hit people.
That one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, you can combo it. I'd say B. It's not like the greatest thing in the world, but it is kind of annoying. In fact, I would put it high B. Crystal Barrage. I use this. It doesn't do any damage. It got buffed, but it's kind of guaranteed damage. I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go low C. It's almost D. Crystal Burst. Same thing. And I was really hoping for this thing, because like when NPCs use it on you, you always get stunned. But like when you're a player doing it to other players, you don't get that same type of hit stun, which sucks. So since it does basically no damage, but free damage, it's basically the same thing as Crystal Barrage. Crystal Shards. This one's incredible. In, like, the 4 duels that I did with it, for some reason, people just felt confident enough to fight me under it, and then it would do, like, half their health. I don't know. People don't really respect this one. Like, I understand, like, it takes a second to cast, but the thing is, like, when you're playing a sorcerer, you're already playing at a distance for the most part anyways, unless you're doing, like, a carry and slicer build. So you can usually get it off with no problems. In worst case scenario, if they do catch up to you and get to you, they're still taking it's almost probably a complete trade in damage, given they have, like, a good weapon. I actually think this one's pretty underrated. I would put it in B. I forget the name of this one completely, but I mean, it was essentially the same thing as these two. It still wasn't getting, like, that stun damage unless they had extremely low poise. I'd go high C. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever. Eternal Darkness.
Very good.
Yeah, this one's a difficult one to rank.
It's niche.
Right, it's niche, but the way you do use it is, like, it completely shuts down another build. Which, the fact that it's, like, cancer and you can't play against it, kind of, I guess you would have to say S. Like, it's a weird S, but it's deserving of S how it's used. Alright. Explosive Ghost Flame. This sorcery is actually crazy. No one used it before. No one was using this thing. It was just too long to shoot up. Didn't do really any damage. Now this thing does so much damage. It comes out very quick, and the like blue-white flames that it puts on the ground that, like, causes freeze buildup, they also, like, they stay there for a second. Like, I was using this thing all day, and like, pretty much every single time, I was hitting people with it. You know what? This was, like, the tech that I made with it, is I would throw out a bunch of, like, range stuff, put some Ancient Death Rancors out there. Oh, they're running around. Oh, you put in some more stuff that makes them run around. And then they get bored of running around. They're like, I don't want to run from this guy's stuff. Why don't I just go straight for the caster? It's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a melee build. Then once you realize they're starting to get, like, hasty, you slam this thing down, thinking it's another Ancient Death Rancor, and it, like, boom, it does, like, a decent 600 damage, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it also creates, like, this AoE that they also can't stand. So not only does it do a lot of damage, it also displaces it. Like, I am so glad that they buffed this thing, because it was the most useless sorcery before, and now I'm telling you, try it. I know it has, like, a weird stat requirement and one that doesn't seem ideal to go for, like, a PvP build, but try it. Like, again, do those mind games where you bait them into coming attack you, then slam this thing down. I'm telling you, it hits, like, 80% of the time plus. It's crazy. I almost want to put it in S tier. I think if I'm being fair, because of, it still has, like, a kind of a long cast time. And I'm also a little biased because I like the death spells. The thing is that people are gonna, like... I think also one of the reasons that I was hitting people so much with this is because no one uses it. It's like it's a real niche pick, and again, it has those bad stats. I think for the stat requirement of to use it, the thing is, like, I'm so torn on this one. Because I also put Carrion Piercer in there, you know?
Which one are you on now?
The Explosive Ghost Flame.
Dude, you love that one.
I know I love that one, but if I'm being...
I would put it at A, honestly.
I'm thinking A, yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
I think it's the top of A. I think it's bordering S. It is that good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Watching
you were watching me today. I was fucking people up with that.
I was, yeah. I wasn't expecting you to be doing that well with it. So, yeah. I would put it up top of A for sure.
All right, Fia's Miss. I'd put it in D. It's kind of a waste of your time because I guess it's kind of cool that you can cast it and they can't go to a certain spot. So I guess for that reason, it's maybe not D, it's C. It's not useless. The issue is, though, is that, like, why would you put it down when you could do something like Frost Mist that you can stand inside of, and then you have, like, this ball of protection, whereas this one you can't. So, I don't know, kind of dumb. Rain of Stars. This one got a buff. It comes down much faster, and same thing with a Crystal Shower. I was actually, like, fucking people up with this thing today. Like,
Really?
Yeah, try it out. I'm telling you, try this thing out. It's like it's still a niche pick, but I was hitting a lot of people with it, and you know, the confident, like, I'm just gonna chase you down people, like, some of them would just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just tank through because I know it doesn't do a lot of damage. Well, it got that damage boost, and now it's like, you better hit me, because if you don't, whatever you would have done to me, I have done to you with getting hit by this thing 2-3 times. I would say almost bottom A. Nah. Top B. But it's still solid. Frozen Mist. I love this spell. I think this is the most underused spell ever. Like, what is your biggest problem as a caster, right? Is that, you know, you have these spear guy, all these melee builds just standing on top of you. You can't cast, you can't do anything. Just start on... Like, I don't know why everyone's not using this. Throw this down, and no one's gonna want to jump into you. Maybe they'll do it, because, like, honestly, the trade-off is so much better for them. Because hitting you as a caster, they'll probably do much damage than this thing will by just giving you one frost proc. You know? But most people don't know that. Most people don't know to think that. They're like, oh, that could hurt me. I'm in a duel. I gotta save all the health that I can. Can't trade against that thing. So no one does it. It's so good. It's an incredible zoning tool, and again, with the Frost theme, you're helping that out, especially if you're running a Duela's, you know, sword or whatever, and all of the other slew of ice things. And I would put this right behind Explosive Duelist Flame. I would almost put it in S, actually. I think it is incredibly, criminally underrated. Like, this is like your one-stop shop. All you need to stop people from jumping on you. The sucky thing is that, like, you throw it down and then you hit your stuff. Like, it's not gonna do all the work for you. But it gives you a peace of mind for a second. Like, people can't attack you. Yeah. Okay. Frozen Armament. It sucks. No one's using it. I can't say it's useless. I put it in C, but no one's using it. Gavel of Hayama. They made this a little better. It got a buff, and I already thought it was, like, pretty decent to begin with. But I also, like, it's not fast enough to where people can't reaction dodge this thing. It's like a very niche, like, sneak 'em, get 'em. Which I think is also what I would say for Collapsing Stars. I would put it, like, above Collapsing Stars in A. Gosh, I forget the name of this one. Magma Eruption or whatever. Still not great. Wasn't really getting any hits with it. It's fun to use, but it's, like, not amazing. The shittier version of Carrion Phalanx. I'm gonna put it in D tier, assuming that you have Carrion Phalanx unlocked, because it's the same thing, just with less swords. It does less damage. Like, it on its own, it's not bad, but let's assume you have every spell unlocked and you can use them. You're not using this. You're just not, when the other one exists. Rune Arc. Rune Arc needs to get some respect put on its name. I don't think it was, like, bad mouth to begin with. I think I was seeing average some people use it. Like, especially during invasions for, like, corridors and stuff, it's almost guaranteed damage. It's not guaranteed, it's dodgeable, but I think it causes a bit of worry more than some of these other things would. So I'm willing to put it low B. Ice Crag, got a damage buff, comes out faster. I still don't think it's good. It's still not fast enough. It's kind of where I put Briars of Punishment. Maybe even a little better. Okay. Glintstone Dart. I would put this in S tier. Glintstone Dart comes out so fast, and if you respect anything into intelligence, you're just hitting people. Doesn't matter how shitty the spell is, you're just nuking people. In fact, I would put it right beyond Carrion Slicer. You can even use this as a carry. I've seen people do Carrion Slicer into Glintstone Dart. It's an incredible hard, I wouldn't say hard to react, but it's not the easiest to react. Not as easy as most things in this game. I think it's harder to react than, you know, Piercer. And I think there's ways to almost like guarantee a hit on people. The fast spells are the ones that, like, those are the biggest bitch to fight against. I forget this one has stars in the name. It's okay. I know I just... Alright. I will give these two the same treatment. So since I said you wouldn't use this one if you had Carrion Phalanx, alright, sorry. I'll put it in C, because it's not bad. It's not doing a lot of damage, but it's not bad. So I'll do the same here. Again, if you have, like, Stars of Ruin, why would you run this? But it's not useless. Although I will say it's more useless than the other swords. Because they're relatively... It's only 3 blasts. It's pretty hard to dodge. Or pretty easy to dodge. Is this Gravity Well? So you just shoot the one out. Obviously, Collapsing Stars is better. Yeah. I put it low C. It's not useless, but it's, like, not great either. Oh, shoot. Wait. Okay. I fucked up. So this is actually... This is Glintstone... That was Glintstone Pebble. That I thought was Dart. Let me put Dart up there for now. Pebble is... not horrible. I mean... It's definitely not Dart. But it's not bad. Pretty dodgeable, though. I would put a low B. I put a low B. Okay. Forget the name of this one. It's where you get, like, it's kind of like Carrion Phalanx, but you get, like, 3 big ones. I think since it's just less projectiles to dodge, you know, not gonna be as good, not gonna be horrible. Throw it up there. Okay, Glintstone Shard. It just sucks that, like, so many of these look the same. Like, I know what they are, I just... Glintstone Shard. Not the worst thing in the world. I think it's better than the big one, but not amazing either. Alright, so this is, what is it called? The Grand Oracle, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's the big bubble. It's the one big bubble that you shoot. I was actually really excited to use these earlier, and even with all the buffs that they got, you can use this thing while moving now. It's just not great. It's just not. Like, I'm sorry. I wish it was. Like, I have ideas to make, like, a SpongeBob build with this. But, nah. It just sucks. Alright. So, Bubble Boy build. I have to put it in D. It just blows. Loretta's Great Bow. I would say this probably goes to... It's not useless. I mean, for invasions, it's obviously way better than it is in a duel. But I do like that you can hold on to it and kind of, like, fake people out. It's just that you have to make sure that they don't reaction dodge it, and if they do, you're fucked. I almost want to say low B. I think I'll go high C, and for Lorera's Mastery, because there's, again, more projectiles to dodge, I'll go low B. But it's, like, right on the fence. It's not great, but, you know, you could be worse. Lucidity, so this is all the buff ones. I'm just putting down an F, because they're not, like, damage. This is basically just a shittier version of Crystal Shards. The name is escaping me right now. I used it, didn't really scare people off, wasn't even really hitting people when I used it. It is pretty bad. I probably put it bottom of C. Alright, this one... I'm gonna get grilled for not knowing the names, but basically, you throw it up, it stays there for a second, and then after a while, it missiles off and shoots people. A lot of people use this. I think it's really solid. I think it's akin to the Phalanx, Carrion Phalanx. Probably just as good, it's just in different circumstances. Actually, I put it bottom of A. It's not bad. But it's like, it's highly dodgeable, but it does force your opponent to dodge. You have to react to it. So you can combo into it by like timing things off with that. So not bad. Magma Shot. Not great. You know. It's not gonna, you know, you're not gonna wow your party guests with it. I'll tell you that much. Stars of Estelle. Or Estelle's Meteors, right? This one didn't get touched. It wasn't that great. When I was using it, it was like... It's a goofy one. It's funny, but is, you know, it's... You're very, very vulnerable using it, and you have to pray that these things actually hit your target. I'm gonna go with... I'd still say high C. I mean... Invasion's definitely a game. It's a little different. But again, it's still not really hitting people. No. I'm gonna put it right there. Meteor Shower. Yeah, it's just a worse version of that. Put it at the bottom of C. Not useless, but wait, did I get this mixed up? Is Fia's Miss, that's...
No, Fia's Mist is the death one. That is Night Mist.
Night Mist. It just does the same thing as Fia's, right?
No, Fia's Mist has death, blight buildup. Night Mist is just, it's like Pestilent Mist.
Oh, this is the one. Wait, Fia's Mist still applies to you, though, too, right?
I think it might.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in the same category. I'm pretty sure they both apply to you. Like, there's, like, you don't want to be inside of it. So, again, going back to, like, the comments on the Night sorceries... They did kind of blow me away. I was very impressed. I still wouldn't say the big Night Shard is better than anything. I go high C for it. Night Comet, thank you. This is Night Shard or Night Dart, something like that. Alright, I'm not apologizing anymore for not knowing the names, but I know what they do. This one really did kind of blow me away. I put it up there with...
Is that the Ambush one?
No, Ambush is high B. That one's...
yeah, this is the small one, I got you.
It's the small one that comes out kind of fast. I put it right next to Glintstone Pebble.
Mm-hmm.
Small Bubbles. Literally worse than Big Bubble. Normal Rancor, bottom of C. It's not that great. You're not even really scaring people, and you're definitely not doing damage. At most, you get of him hit stun. It does force them to have to roll I'll give you that. Maybe I'll bump it up to mid-C, but it's not good. He's just not good. Ronnie's Moon. That's a hard one. The moon spells are easy to dodge, but also can, like, out of nowhere... Like, the thing is their dodge window is very short. So if you do mess up, you get fucked. I'm willing to go high B. For both. They're not bad. Rock Crusher or whatever. Rock Smasher. This one's funny, and I will say I actually did get some... I did get a couple KOs using it earlier. Like, it's a nice little just slam the ground. The issue, of course, is that you have that channeled, like, you're holding it over your shoulder. So anyone that knows what they're doing is gonna, obviously, not come near you for the second that it takes for that thing to go off. Not horrible. I'd even go... Yeah, right there. High C, mid C. Rock Sling.
I think it's a solid B.
I think it's a B as well. I think it catches people off with how far it goes, or like how far it's willing to travel, and how weird the dodge time can be.
The fact that it tracks backwards as well.
And tracking backwards is annoying as shit.
Yeah, that I think is what makes it B, at least for me.
I would actually go top of B. I'd say
Yeah,
top of B.
A decent B, yes. Middle to top, I would agree.
I'm just gonna bundle all of the,
I think that's Mount Gelmir's Fury.
Is that Mount Gelmir's Fury? Okay.
Or maybe...
I forget which is which.
I'm just gonna pull up Vex for Life and help you out with these names.
Yeah, go for it, go for it. Okay. Ricard's Rancor. I use this one a lot. It's not amazing. Mostly I think it looks cool, but at the same time,
it's kind of terrible.
Yeah. Like, most people are not getting hit by this, but some people get hit by this. I think on its own merits, I'd go high C. It's another okay zoning tool. Scholar's Armament, Scholar's Shield. Spiral. Glintstone Spiral. This one's wacky, because if you use it the right way, it can follow you weirdly. It's like kind of slow, but not in a bad way. Like, the hitbox stays out, and it forces you to run from it.
I'd put it at either a high C or a low B, personally.
No, dude. I think it's...
You think it's that good?
I think it's that good.
I don't know.
I've seen some people use this thing really well. I would put it up high B.
Okay.
Rock Smash, I'm just gonna put it with the other one. They both do the same thing.
Yeah.
Is there like something that I'm... Oh, it's this patch notes page that they keep... I think it's actually the tier list website that they keep trying to block.
No, it's kind of funny.
Alright. Crystal Shard Burst. It's the one Shattering Crystal, thank you. It's the one where you shoot one shot out and it's like a shotgun effect. I really wanted this one to be good, but everyone and their sister was roll dodging this one. I really wanted it to be good, but it just seems like the hitbox on it is bad, and I can't explain why. Put it there, sure. I'm gonna put the crushing ones on bottom C. No, I take that back. I did get hits. I don't know. This one's just the Starlight or whatever. Just makes light useless. This one's the better version of... Can't think of the name, of course, but I'll put low B. It still works. It's still like confirmed damage, which is nice. Terra Magus? Magica? Terra Magica? One of those? Yep, Terra Magica. This one's good. Like, there's kind of really no downside to just starting a duel, starting a fight, dropping this thing down. I saw one build where this guy, he did all sword sorceries, right? And he dropped this down and basically made it like his dojo. Like, come into my dojo and fight me, because these things will be doing more. And like in Frostmist, in a way, it kind of worked out. Like, it was funny. Of course, that doesn't mean it's broken, but I think it's pretty good. And, you know, for like, I think it's like a 30% damage buff. There's no reason not to try it out. I would put bottom of A. Bottom of A. Thop's Barrier. When Eternal Darkness exists, there's no fucking reason to be running this thing. And even if you don't have Eternal Darkness, there's no fucking reason to be running this thing. The window of what you have to use in order for this thing to work, and the payout is that you just don't get hit. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'd go D. Tibia Summons.
Be honest.
Tibia Summons. I love this thing. I use it a lot, but it's
trash.
It's just doesn't hit people. It just doesn't. And I will say
that's a solid D for me.
No, it's not a D.
I do love solid Ds.
All right. Anyways, I think, you know, it's. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go mid C. Mid C, because you can catch people off. Because you can shoot it from so far away, and no one uses this, so it's like no people recognize the animation. Because it's so niche, is that why it's like not the worst thing in the world? Hidden Blade. I'm just gonna put that in F, and all these things in F are not because they're bad, but just simply because it's like they're just buffs rather than just like damage or utility. Hidden Body, same thing. Zimor Ice Storm for the last one.
This one's
they sped it up. It was really trash before. It was unusable. They sped it up. I would still say it's not in a place where it's amazing. I would put it in the same way that I look at Ricard's Rancor, where it's like a cool little zoner, but not super worth it.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
But there we go. I don't know. I think this tier list, from again, this is a duel and you know, invasion kind of standpoint, not bad. Not bad. I think these are fair. The only ones that I think that people may have an issue with is Collapsing Stars. The Crystal Shatter or whatever, the one that like rains down crystals above you. I think people might not agree with that one. I'm telling you guys though, like, try these out. You'd be very surprised with your results. But yeah, I think Magic is just infinitely better than Incantations, because I didn't put anything in S for Incantations. I don't think there's an S incantation that exists. Like that is just a purely damage one. There's S buffs that are for incantations, but not like damage or like abilities. But okay, that wraps up that.